Greetings, everyone. Welcome. We are closing out the final full week of Zendikar Rising as the main format in Magic Draft World. It's been the main format for quite a while now, and we've enjoyed it a lot. I'm actually starting to, I might check in on how this account is doing on the 4X. We've already 4X'd rares of Zendikar Rising on our primary free-to-play account. This is my backup free-to-play account where I'm drafting Zendikar now because I find that continuing to draft a set that you have 4X of on your main account is actually a reduction in your optimization if you care about collection building. If you don't care about collection building, it doesn't matter, but if you do like to build up the new set and build up standard, once you have 4X, even though it's exciting sometimes to see that 20 gems in the pack, you're actually better off if yes, you had 20 gems in a pack, but instead of getting 20 gems out of that pack now, you could wait and spend that on a new draft later and get a pack from the new set that has an actual card in it that you don't have yet. So if you value packs containing cards you don't have yet, really consider stopping drafting those sets on your the account that's most important to you once that account has all those resources. Go to your side account, play events over there, and then on your main account on a daily basis, still play standard, win your daily 4 times, complete your quests, so that you're continuing to grind gold. Like right now we have 1,100 here, 1,100 gold and 20,000 gems. This is our side account. On our main account, I'm at 37,000 gold and 30+ thousand gems. And we were at 0 gold when we stopped playing Zendikar Rising on that account. So you can see that I've almost ground up to 4 free Kaldheim drafts on my main account by switching my play to side accounts for Zendikar Rising now that I have all of these packs. Why is collection building important in a backup account? Oh, it's not. That's a great question, Portugalio. When I said let's see how we're doing on this one, it is somewhat important because sometimes on a side account you need to play standard if you run out of resources. This one is doing well enough that I don't think we're going to run out of resources on this side account either. But sometimes your side account needs to play constructed to grind its resources back up if you're pure free to play, and in that case you don't mind having the extra cards. But mainly I was just curious if through my methodology, through the way I approach the economy, and through the amount that I play, which is basically win 4 times a day on the main account and then win 2 to 4 times a day on the side account. I'm just curious if I'm actually going to get 4X of a set on 2 different accounts. That would be kind of interesting. But you're right. The value of collection building on this account is basically nothing, to the point that during a draft, I don't even consider rare drafting unless there's just nothing, right? Like if there's absolutely no opportunity cost, I rare draft. But since I don't care about collection building on this account, it's also a purer draft experience. I have no temptation to take cards over gems. If you have temptation to take cards for cash, I know who can do that for you. That's my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. They take cash and give you cards, and they take cards and give you cash or credit too. That's one of the things I talk up all the time. I have just submitted, it's piled up right over here. I have a huge sell order that I'm selling to Card Kingdom, and I'm doing it for store credit. I could go either way on it. Cash is pretty straightforward, right? When it comes to the secondary market, you can see who's charging what for a card and decide who you're going to buy it from, and price can be whatever factor you want it to be in that transaction. Credit is a different beast. Store credit is a complicated thing because there's really 3 factors at play in deciding how good your store credit at an MTG store is. You've got how much they're actually paying you for your cards, right? How much they're paying to get your cardboard. How much of a percent bonus they're giving you for credit. Maybe there's 4 things. That's kind of the one. How much they're paying you and how much credit. What their inventory is, right? And what their sell prices are. It's a complicated calculus, but I think one of the underrated aspects of it is inventory. Store credit is only as good as the inventory you can buy from once you have it. And that's why not only does Card Kingdom crush on how much they're willing to pay you for, the inventory is so great. I just know that if I carry some credit there, it allows me to make impulse purchases with Magic without feeling like I'm digging into my wallet. I've converted, it's like giving future Ryan a present to send some cards to Card Kingdom for credits, store that credit, and then be able to jump on something when I feel like it. Maybe that's a luxury I have because I have a larger collection, but Card Kingdom can help you with the difficult economy that is Magic is what I'm talking about. You know, if you're a drafter like us, get some paper. Anyway, check them out via my affiliate link. Panels down below, YouTube notes, link in chat. You know it. You love them. Do it from here, and they know you got there from here, and I stay on the air. So, gonna jump in. We're gonna see how long this takes. We're late stage format, best of 3. I don't know what people have been experiencing in terms of wait times in best of 3, but look, we got a pretty nice fill there. So hopefully we'll be doing this soon. You did, Snakey, or we did? Maybe both. We certainly smashed it around here. Yesterday we took a spoilers if you haven't watched yesterday's video, YouTube. But oh yeah, I'll get out of the way. We drafted a nice Zendikar deck and then lost in the first game, and then rattled off 7 wins after that with barely even looking. I got to punt my way to 7 wins pretty easily. Good luck to you, IZ. Oh, just Lola's in here too. Interesting. Check it out. We are Ancient GYZ is passing to us, and a couple down from us is just Lola Man. Awesome. Maybe we'll have an accidental streamer showdown. Well, check this out. We've got a Verazol and a Sproutling. I almost like the Sproutling better. What makes me really sad is that the Verazol is... This is going to send the wrong signal. I think we got to take the rare. It's in my favorite archetype as the format winds down. And so, yes, I'm going to take the rare, and I'm going to really... I'm not going to get on bended knee right now, but... I think she's the one, you know? Yeah, splashable, but at its best when you're doing the kicker thing. So if you're splashing it in something else that's heavy kicker, yeah, Falconer's probably good enough here. I was looking at Rabid Bite too, but Falconer's probably just better. Fine second pick for a blue-green rare's first pick. Darkstar likes the Rabid Bite. I feel ya. I think the big flyer is just a little bit better than the conditional removal. Really nice sign here. Gonna pass this field research, but grab the familiar. Maybe our friend GYZ knows my preferences and it's like, here, I'm gonna give Ryan the blue-green hookup. Framinam! We got another mythic around here. Love to hear viewers, having never been mythic, finding this channel and then building their way to mythic. What a great story. There have been some people who've poo-pooed the accomplishment of mythic, and as relative to like high-level competitive play, sure. But what I love about rank, even though I don't really care much about rank, very nice. As a game designer, I care about rank because it's really motivating. It's a good goal for people to have, and I really like that people can have an achievable aspirational play goal. Like, hitting Mythic is not easy, but it's achievable for a lot more players than, say, making the Pro Tour, right? Or even like winning my qualifier, like that's, I guess, the same thing, right? Making the Pro Tour, like, so just thinking about that stuff. Stomper's interesting, but I'm a big fan of the Grasp. It doesn't have kicker, so in that way, it's a little bit of a non-bow in that way. But Grasp, I think, is still underrated as a tool for the kicker deck to make it to turn 6. I like a Stomper too, but I'm willing to pick up a 6-drop later. And also, this is like Stomper, but better. So in a sense, our deck has a Stomper. This is one of my sneaky favorites, right along the lines of how that Wizard Adept, the white wizard that, Farsight Adept. Hey, there he is now. There she is now. This is one of my favorite cards in the format because of the gluiness of it, and same with Glacial Grasp. I like this. I like that a lot too. Yeah, let's reclaim though. Looks like there's a great Boros lane open. Check this out with the Electromancer still here. I guess Rubblefort and Tormenting Voice don't even mean anything, but some decent stuff there. But Reclaim is a nice pick for us. 3 roosts. I'd like to beat that. Let them come. Scythe Kitty is playable, if not exciting. Could take a Survivor as, again, an unexciting but grudgingly playable. Same with Cascade Seer, but I guess I'd rather take the grudgingly playable 2-drop over the grudgingly playable 4-drop. Blightblade's all right. Take that over Zendikar. Riptide could be a payoff if we can. Don't really have that much kicker yet. Like, we have rewards for kicking, but we're still looking for the kicker itself. I'm going to take Vision here. We're going to run it. All right. Hook us up with a kicker, please. More payoffs. This is the kicker. I did ask for this, but I'm not going to pass Vine Gecko for the colony. You got to take the Gecko. It's so good. I hear you, Jinx. Boy, do we want some kicker, but this is my favorite enabler of them all, I think. I would rather have these than Lol Mage's Familiar, as you see by me taking them, Oh, Colony's not going to wheel. I'm not pretending we're going to get this back, but I'm saying that this is still more important to me. Here we go. That kicks, and we're going to take this over Charix, I believe. I don't mind a Charix, but Geyser Mage is what we're looking for. We're going to take Geyser Mage, and we're going to see if we wheel that Stomper. Reclaim gives us a toehold to splashing. Like if we see Royal Eruptions or something, I'm willing to consider them with the Reclaim. As if. But I don't think we need to take this with the End of the Royal in the pack. We'll just take the actual on-color kicker spell. But if we didn't have this in the pack, I would certainly take Royal Eruption over the Riptide. Thanks, Hat. You really narrowed it down for me, buddy. Reclaim the Waste is another kicker spell. Adventure is a biggie, but we have to have a Rabid Bite. I think now we just need to take a bite to get some interaction. Media still likes the Reclaim. We might wheel it. We have one. We do want, like Vine Gecko into Reclaim on 3 is Chef's Kiss. But I still like that Rabid Bite there. Take the Spland here. Fine pickup. That was a late Thought Thief. Suggests basically nobody, couple seats to our right is doing that thing. Well, this might be a time to take Pathway, actually. As I've said, Reclaim could set us up to splash some Royals. Yeah, this does have Kicker. That's fair. I could just take the Sentinel. This is an interesting pick, though, because red is the color I want to splash. I'm not going to take a second Blight Blade. We've got the one. I think it's either Sentinel or splash potential. But because we've been talking about how we do need Kicker, and we're a little low on Kicker, I am going to take the Sentinel. But Fancy Play Ryan is really enamored by that rare. We'll take a Shell Shield here. It does have Kicker on it. Might number 1 over Shell Shield number 2 for sure. And not a bad 8th pick. You know, last fresh card in this pack. Happy to get it. Ascetic. Just fine. As Fenor has pointed out, it kind of bridges the gap, getting you to 6. You know, this deck just wants to get to 6 mana. It's another thing that helps you do that. Living Tempest also can do that. Cascade Seer, you know, Tempest on 5, flashing in. Yeah, we don't have any 4s, I suppose. But if you take Seer, we still don't have any 4s. But it is a wizard. It doesn't really matter. Like, I guess the one thing that maybe was bringing me back to it is that, and I guess we would want Deliberate over Adventure Awaits, right? Yeah, hopefully none of this matters and we're cutting it all. Yeah, like I'm going to put Tempest on the board now in hopes. It's also reasonable to take in best of 3. Tempest is a card we would want to bring in against heavy flying, especially heavy smaller flyers. So, yeah, that's true. Adventure Awaits digs deeper to find the rare, but I'm hoping to play neither, so I didn't think about it too much. But that's a good point. Sproutling, or even just give me how about a Royal Mage? You know, just some graveyard recursion for this deck would be lovely. Well, we'll take another blue Kicker rare over the Balagad Recovery, over the Bubble Snare. Fenner says Snare over the rare. Really? This is real. Let's see, how are we doing on actual Kicker then? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This doesn't have Kicker. Fine. I think we got to do Snare. I'm convinced. We are that much in need of actual Kicker right now, or this deck's not going to do its thing. On that front, we could Arbor Mage over a second Falconer or this Master of Winds. I think Chronicler is better than you're giving it credit for, Media. I'm very happy to play Chronicler now in Kicker decks. I was underwhelmed by it when I first saw it, but it has enough going on that I think it's a desirable card, actively desirable for the old Kicker deck. People want the rare. I don't know. I'm going to take the Kicker card. Everyone wants me to take the rare. I don't know. To me, that's just a big flyer. We've got big flyer. What's its job? Yeah. It says draw 2 cards, but it doesn't say Kicker on it. And now things are starting to come together. See, I'm happy with that pick. Another field research is good here. There is another stomper. We've been trying to find a stomper potential, but not passing a research. Y'all act like we have a bunch of cards that say kicker. Like, you know, those of you suggesting things that don't say kicker haven't been listening. Doggy is upset with somebody. Who is up there being a human in front of my dog? That is not acceptable. Enchantment Land, we have a couple of things that the Enchantment Land gets back, and we're stacked at 3. So if we're not going to play either of these probably, but we'll a little more chance of a Zendikar than not. Chilling Trap. What's our wizard count here? Only 4 wizards. We're not playing the trap. We're not playing scale. We're not playing adventure. So none of these make the cut. Might just take the uncommon for vault progress for what that's worth, which is not much around here, but we'll do it. And take a survivor. We're probably not playing. I just think we're pretty, you know, we got to make, we're going to be cutting less synergistic creatures. Survivor doesn't have much of a job besides be a 2-drop. Nice late might. Now I feel like we got the kicker density here in pack 3. Been a good pack for us. And then picking up a fortification here is wonderful. Some people like the nectar pot, but I'm not passing a spland over it. Yeah, that is a plus, I guess, that you can throw a counter on Verizal. It's not much of a needle mover, though, in terms of how much I like this card in the deck. Fenrir spec on trap with 3 cards left to take. I correctly passed a colony, yes. 20 gems on the grind today. Correctly. For Vine Gecko, if you're passing Vine Geckos in a kicker deck, you are doing it wrong-go. Let's see, what are we... Gecko, let's make an insurance joke. 15 minutes. Is all it's going to take to beat each opponent. Maybe in retrospect, given how much kicker we ended up with, I would trade a Bubble Snare for that blue rare. But at the time, I think it was the correct adult pick. We just didn't have a lot. We were going into pack 3 very, very light on kicker. All right, so let's go. Let's look at our splans. I'll get into deck building here so you can see a little better. I think this deck ended up fine. Not the best kicker deck I've ever seen, but it's got some tools. It's got basically all this deck wants to do is survive until it can stabilize around 6 mana and then just start attritioning out the opponent with value, right? And this has the tools to do that. So I like this deck. Yeah, we're going to definitely do a Kaldheim hero draft later. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So let's start 20, 19, 18 just as a starting point. We may adjust that, but I just want to see roughly what kind of cuts we're trying to make. And now we'll take a look at our spell creature split and make some choices. I've expressed my love for the Glacial Grasp. I might have to let it go here, though. We ended up with a couple of Into the Royals, which is better interaction on that front. The Bubble Snare. These all say, oh, this is a land too. So really, I could even argue down one land. Yeah, I think we can cut one mite. I think you're right about that. It doesn't need 2 mites. We did not get any kicker recursion. The thing that really makes a kicker deck sing is Royal Mages and the Sproutlings. Sproutlings and Royal Mages let you get back your stuff out of the yard and continue just make all these endless loops that are just ridiculous. This is still okay. We're going to be fine, but I'm going to cut the Scythe Kitty. And yeah, we could cut one ascetic, although I don't mind a couple of 5s here. I guess we have this as a 5. Arbor Mages being more of a 6 thing. This is like, yeah, 2. I want to keep all of these interactive, the remaining interactive stuff. I didn't mind cutting one mite because we also have a shell shield. So a couple of combat tricks with kicker, and then straight removal, straight card draw, and some interaction with kicker is nice. You like 20 virtual, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, that's 19. Yeah, so we can put land back. But we're just drawing enough too. Like the double field research and the kicked royals all just suggest like we're going to have the card flow. Looks like we do have to run the survivors. We just don't have a lot going on at 2, and this doesn't count. That's not going to be a 2 if we can help it. And definitely running the Blight Blade. Yeah, it might be an ascetic just because we're running out of like everything else. Like Blight Blade, I want Blight Blade over ascetic for the job of surviving. And everything else feels too like I'm not cutting a falconer over an ascetic, so it's got to be one of the ascetics, I think. Yeah, these are finishers. This is the we got finishing. These are some finishers we've got. Yeah, familiars also with the mana. So we have a ton of mana here. I think we're fine. If anything, we want to cut more, but I want to cast some of these as spells, so I also like where this is at. All right, I think we found a decent spot. Let's 6 islands, 7 forests. We'll find some cool ones. Nobody has redeemed. Again, I'm going to go with Zendikar Full Arts for the closing out of the format. Actually, I'm going to just manually do it, not suggest. And close that. Oops. Screen grab. All right, here's a par poll. How do you think we're going to do? And let's see how fast we find an opponent. I'll hop to the battlefield view. Thank you so much for that sub. Appreciate it. 7 months. Nice. This looks fine. We're going to go Fortification as land into Vine Gecko, find a 3rd land, get familiar, and then we get to start working towards... Whoa! Oh, thank God that was keep. I was just trying to... I went to click the screen to give the thing focus because I had just been over messing with my my Streamlabs, and I clicked on the screen just to bring up... I got to learn to click the edge to bring up focus because I almost... Good thing we wanted to keep that. Good thing that's what showed up. Wow. Lucky. So if I play this as land, we don't get Blightblade on 1. If I play it as land, we guarantee Familiar on 3. But I think I'm going to play Blightblade and be willing to trade off with the Hellhound. We just want to... because the Hellhound gets worse and worse. And I'm happy to trade our 1-drop for it. So we'll take it. We'll see. We'll probably, a good chance we draw a third basic land anyway. Which would then even give us a chance to use Fortification as spell, which would be cool too. We could put a counter on the Sentinel, start attacking with it. And actually, that's a good, Jinx was talking about the combo with Verizol with the kind of unimpressive 2-drop, put a counter on something. But actually, we have 2 Sentinels, so they combo with the Sentinels as well. That's interesting. Yeah, Subtle Strike would have hurt there, but looks like they didn't even want to trade their Hellhound, so that's cool. I think you just got to offer. I'm surprised, if you're in a spot, Hellhound's not getting much better over the game. Trading for my 1-drop seems like a perfectly reasonable thing to do with it. Cardboard Live is on. I just gave it focus, so maybe that'll help it behave if it was not behaving, but let me know. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I would think if I were an Oppo, it'd be like, okay, I got to get on the ground. I'm going to trade for the Hellhound, but maybe they have a plan. They could also have the 1 damage land in their hand or something, and they're just waiting to use it. Very nice for them to get rid of that pesky beast. Do we just want to get rid of the Sneaking Guide? They're making that offer. Kind of just want to do that. I'll take that trade. I don't know. This is red-black. It's not like they're going to create huge green beasts. And if our worst case scenario is that we play this as land to set up Familiars. Yeah, I guess we do have, with the Familiars, we're going to have some life gain. Yeah, whatever, we'll take 1. I think I'm just being control the board while we have the chance, just do it, but there's no need to do that. Got to do that, though, and then survive another turn, and now we've got Familiar mana that should get us out of this. Not only mana, but big butts, 2/4, not a small blocker for 3 mana. Yeah, Verizol is 2/2 is a reasonable argument. If we were under more pressure, I would, but I feel like for a red-black deck, they just haven't put pressure on us, and we have a block on the Hellhound unless they want to use 2 mana to get it through. So, I got greedy with that for that reason, but good call out, Fenor, at least worth talking about. Because another thing that happens is you instinctively look at a creature X spell like this and think that it would be a 0/0 if you cast it. Oh, if I cast this, it's going to be a 0/0. But no, the wording on this is such that you actually get counters for the blue and the green as well. So it is a legit consideration. And again, yeah, if that's what they're doing, if that's their big plan, awesome. And could field research to find a land to play. Yeah, since they're not adding to the pressure, I actually like field research for land. There's a Survivor. If we draw a basic land next turn, we can even go Sentinel Survivor on Sentinel if we want. Mana Dork's totally reasonable, but the reason I didn't do it is because of how Gadget Pants spent the last turn. If their big turn 4, or if their turn last turn was activating a Sneaking Guide on a Hellhound to get in 2 points of damage, then I think we have the time to actually continue to hit our land drops. Now, though, definitely familiar. Can't leave anything else up. Can't 2-spell. So we're 1-spelling anyway. We could Verazal as a 4/4. That's somewhat real here on this board, but so is Lull Mage. I'm just going to do Lull Mage. If both our Lull Mages survive, I don't see how Red-Black is going to win the longer game here. We have a double block on the Rogue. Well, I asked, didn't I? How are they possibly going to win? That's a good way. We do have a Sentinel. True, didn't want to jinx us. Fair enough. Now they get in for 6, and we have some real work to do. Maybe we need... If we get a land, though... Here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, this deck could be so much better, right? Hellhound is just a blank. Our opponent has effectively mulliganed with this Hellhound, and is still doing great because of Zagras. But my plan, we're going to take some beats. But with 2 familiars out, we get to kick a Sentinel, gain 4 life, and have a blocker for Zagras. So we're just trying to survive until we can get a Sentinel to block Zagras. Yeah, that's true. We can do Sentinel next turn after that. Anyway, no blocks here. Hey, we did. All right. So, yeah, we're going to do the line that Hat just mentioned. Yeah, there's no reason not to send them, right? Like, well, this could be a newer play. You know, Oppo's making some plays that we don't like, but we'll hopefully take advantage of that. Yeah, I just got to do it, right? We were not... I mean, we don't really want to block anyway. We're not blocking these Death Touchers. We want to... Next thing we want to block is Zagras. Oh, wait. X is 1, right? X is a mere 1. But the 3/3 results. If they can kill Verazal, this is tough, but if we can... remove 2 and get 2 4/5 flyers, then we will be in business. You think Royal Eruption? I guess Royal Eruption is an interesting guess. It feels like they might have used it on Blightblade by now, but since it can't get the familiar, maybe. Whoa. Okay, well now we need a land, but we still get the play we wanted with a land. Basic land, Magic Gods. Basic land, please. Basic land, and we're back in it. No basic land, and we got to think. We probably have to play a Sentinel, and... okay, well, never mind. It's like, we're in trouble. And Deck's like, how about this? You're okay. We're okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's 7, so that doesn't do it. Yeah, can we... Double Bubble seems interesting, right? Do we want the Rogue and the Zagras, or Sneaking Guide to prevent sneakiness? Well, there's 3 Rogues. I think that these 2... Okay, I'm going to trust the UI. I believe the UI is set to do this properly now. So we're going to trust it. You like Survivor after this? Yeah, we'll talk about the next play. Yeah, we're going to take that action for sure and put it here. Yeah, another counter on Verzal is quite relevant as it removes 2 to do its copy thing. Could send it in if we're not blocking. We have these chumps that we're looking to block with, so I'm actually going to offer. We'll send in Verzal here. Well, do we want to? The guide could block and kill it with Death Touch, but I'm worried about the guide. So, but I guess if we're going to offer that, I should have not put a counter on it. You think 6 damage is almost guaranteed if I attack? Or maybe you're talking about a different line. I don't want to... No, I'm going to say no attacks. The reason why I wouldn't send Blightblade is because then it gives them a chance to play a land and just straight up attack with the 2/3 Hellhound instead of actually having to make it unblockable. If they leave everything up, there's an argument to, like, kick the Arbor Mage and just force him to block the Familiar. It would kill the... Well, we need a land for that, I guess. But anyway, I'm just thinking about kicking Arbor Mage as a possible way to approach the situation with the sneaking guides here. But there's no point... Hopefully, yeah, I guess what I want to do is tap out so that the lure actually leads to dead sneaking guides. Oh, that is a gift. That is a gift. I don't know what they have in hand, but we'll take this block regardless of what they have. That at least explains it, but I still like that result for us. Now we can kick Verzal and gain some more life and get a couple of big flyers that can actually win the game. If we keep kicking stuff, we are going to get enough life to outpace what they've got going on here. Yeah, they should have killed the Blightblade, and it would have been a real blowout. Gadget Pants is showing themselves to be a player with some fundamentals to improve, but we've all been there. I show myself as someone who could use some fundamentals improvement here and there, not as much as Gadget Pants, and they're still staying in it. I mean, they got some powerful cards, so... despite the observable misplays, we are still kind of up against it. You might be too small, Boris, and you're certainly too late for this time around, I think. But you can go to... their whole thing is stream elements. You kind of sign up to be a content creator, a content creating partner with Wizards through Stream Elements. But that's where you start. Well, this is interesting. What do we... If they stick with this attack, how are we blocking? I think we throw Blightblade on Guide or Hound? Hound just, on so many turns, is not going to be anything. And Guide, you like block? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, they have 2 guides, but we kind of need them both dead. That's the thing. But we could block both as well. We can trade off a 4/5 to get rid of one of the guides, and then what are they even doing? Then like we have Arbor Mage. Yeah, with them, they're cardless. You like take 2. This is a really interesting blocking situation. I kind of want to screenshot this for later consideration. I'm not sure. I kind of want to ask a pro. Phone a friend. But it just feels like we've got Arbor Mage and Sentinel to their nothing. I'm gonna kill the guide. I want the guide dead. Fenrir wants the Hellhound. That's interesting. We could also set up a wizard. Yeah, just kick Sentinel again. Yeah, that's true. All right, we'll kick Sentinel again. I'm fancy playing it, especially because we get... Yeah, that's right. That's fine. Life gain, flyer. Overthinking it. No, I was thinking on blocks. I was thinking Umaro Wizard could threaten blocks here. But you're right, it's not going to do the thing on luring. It won't be a good lure target. I watch my clock. Oh, we're close, though. I'm actually, unusually, keeping pace with Oppo on clock. As observed, we have a 2-turn clock in the air now. 8 would win the game. If we drop this Umaro Wizard, we even survive removal on one of these 4 mana flyers. That's what I was just doing, Smash. Checking on it. I definitely wanted that guide dead. The question whether to block both or not, as I thought that through. Like, Hellhound is nothing 60% of the time from here, and Sneaking Guide can't affect itself. So it just felt like, unless they just do something like that. All right. Okay, this is good too. We get to we get a kickback. We can't just win here. Yeah, 1 off from lethal. If this did 6, right? 4, 8, 9, 10, 15 is not 16. So I like kick a might, attack with the Sentinels, kick a might to get them close to dead, or you want to lure and kill the Hound? Yeah, we could lure and kill the Hound, and then they don't. But if they draw a land next turn, they don't have a good attack anyway. But yeah, we can actually, that's true. We can gain the life and kill the Hound. Okay, I'm in for that. Seems good. And what do we leave back on D? I'm going to send all. Keeps the clock lethal next turn, and we have an Arbor Mage to make the Sneaking Guide. I get it. I'm fading a top deck. That's my 100% plan. We have a Taunting Arbor Mage on D. Yeah, Royal Eruption, but they don't even have the mana for it. As Prof observes. A little bit late, Oppo. Reasonable top deck, but a little bit late. They're just showing. They're just being like, darn it, too late, is what Oppo is saying with that move. So, Zagras, red-black party. Double sneaks. Inappropriate hellhounds. Good removal. Yeah, that's loose from Oppo. There was no need to show that. Although, I do think that barring like showing a mythic that somebody would a card that somebody would actually sideboard around, I think the information leak thing is a overrated mistake, but it is one. There's no need to do it. I just don't think it's that impactful. Do we have like ascetic number 2 could be arguable. 3 mana of life gain on the ground, but no, we want the 4/4 flyer for sure to be able to block Zagras up there. Riptide could come out, but it's a good attacker. I'm not. We ended up with the density here. I think I just run this back. It's fine. It's a fine blocker. Not against Zagras because of the death touch, but I'm not gonna play around Zag. You think a Snarecaster belongs in? You like grasp over research? That's an interesting call. Buy some time. How about that? Well, I like that play. We'll do that. Make that swap. Did I have 41? Oh, oops. Don't look! Don't look! Nice. I like, Luis is pretty down on this card. I love it. I think it's, I get that it's similarly bad as a top deck, but I think it's a pretty cool design where it's like, it can be a land if you desperately need a land, or it's ramp when you want ramp. I love that. I think it's good. I'm going to keep this and be very happy. Falconer on 4 after roiling something on 3. But that's okay. It's doing a specific thing. Not every single flip card needs to have early, late tension to be a good design. Oh, he was a mess, Hunter. He was an absolute mess. That was the Christoffersons, right? It's always the Christoffersons with the pyrotechnics. Suffice it to say, Hunter and I had neighbors last night who were happy about the results of the election, but Also, suffice it to say, my dog is not a Joe Biden fan. That jerk! I'm not saying it's not late early or not early. I'm saying it's a different kind of tension. It's a ramp spell that can fall back as just being a land when you fail to hit your land drops is a great design. I think this is a great design. Because a lot of decks, they want ramp, but you don't want to, like, here's a way to think about it, why I like this design. In Cube, I struggle with how much mana to run when I am the ramp deck, because I have all these elves, all these mana dorks, and what am I, where am I supposed to land or spell, that kind of thing, and this lets me shave lands so that if I can shave lands, and it can be a land if I have to have it, but then it still gets to be the ramp that I need for my deck when it... Anyway, so the way that it plays that way, I really like it. I do. All right, well, this is an interesting start from Gadget Pants. I'm going with the flyer. I just figure they're going to put stuff on the ground. I guess maybe... if you like leading with the thing you want killed, you don't mind if this gets killed. That's fair. Yeah, you're probably right. I think if I could do it again, I would just start with the Ascetic. It also hits harder if they don't end up with anything. So you're probably right to start with the Ascetic last turn, but I was enamored with my flyer. Yeah, this seems like... I mean, they had Tormenting Voice and Subtle Strike. So if you had both of these cards in both your mana in the opener, I would keep. Because, I can kill something early and then fix my hand. And they've done both of those things. It just hasn't led them to a place where they're developing their board. Right now, that doesn't matter to us, like, at all. Our current plan is play Umara Wizard, or attack and play Umara Wizard. But yeah, I was holding a trembling rocket in my arms last night. He was so scared. Because it's like our direct neighbor. It was just like right in his face. All right, we'll start with an attack and then decide what to do after the dust settles. If they go for a block on Falconer, we know that they're going to do something, and then we got Into the Royal to save this. I don't know what a Thunder shirt is. Is that like, does it squeeze? Is it like a hugging shirt or something? Yeah, we just want the wizard here. Sorry, I was just looking at chat. Too much for Oppo. I'm not sure what they kept there, but leading with the Falconer didn't get punished. I'll check it out. Yeah, the it's dog to dog for sure, right? Whatever is. I don't blame your German Shepherd. Clothes gotta fit. I'll look into it. My daughter works at Petco. Maybe they've got something there. Yeah, not the best, but we're going to keep and hold the fortification for hopefully attacking with a 3-4 Sentinel on 4 before playing a Falconer on 5. Maybe. Might not even do that. We'll see. If there's a Petco brand, then we can get a discount. But there often isn't. I mean, the best case scenario is that we actually win a combat with it, right? That's the dream, and I mean, we can try and set it up. Although Low Mage Familiar is now coming down over the Sentinel. What's up, Cliffy? Do I have that one? I don't know if I have that in. I think that's another one I'm behind on. No, you're right. I just forgot about that one, Hat. All right, so now I like Sentinel with fortification up, because they may attack into the Sentinel. Why is that binding bad? I mean, yeah, we get some life out of it, but we it's a medium binding. It has removed it. Yeah. I already did. What is with CBL? All right, I'm going to restart it entirely. It just decided to crap out on me. My point is, I think it is doing a card's worth of value. It's just that Low Mage's Familiar does more than a card's worth of value. Well, I'm going to go for it. If they're not willing to trade, we're going to try. They have open mana. They could do something in response here, but it's white-blue, so I don't know what they would do that would really punish us. Yeah, that's the thing. It would lead, but like they don't have kicker, so like if they're gonna spend an Into the Royal to counter a fortification, that's cool, right? Like it just didn't seem like there was a real punishment for us to do that. Yeah, I'm with you, East. We're gonna send in an attack here, see what they want to do, and then kick a reclaim. Oh, are we up against a new Oppo? That was a poorly timed pressure point, but I appreciate that Oppo they did it wrong, but they still followed through to get the card. Some people might like not play it to avoid embarrassment or whatever, but good job, Oppo. Forget embarrassment. At least do the follow-up play. You know, mitigate your mistake. Don't compound it by pretending it didn't happen. Let's see. Florahedron we can use as creature. It's not much of one at this point, which is, again, the criticism of this design, that it's not really very exciting as a late creature or a late land, but it's still more exciting as a creature. I'm with you, David. Yeah, there's some kicker synergies with Bubble Snare, and it can be cast for 1 mana, which is also nice. Bubble Snare is definitely better, But I don't understand how anybody could have some massive gap between Nahiri's Binding and Bubble Snare. If you do, you're not being honest with yourself. If you're like, Nahiri's Binding? That's barely a card. I try not to play it. But Bubble Snare, never pass it. Like, that's... I don't know how you can have that opinion. Not that anybody here has said they do. I'm just saying I'm agreeing with David that the gap there is pretty tight. Yeah, I like Kick Research too. They're not putting pressure on us, and they're holding up mana that could be like anti-cog, and if it's anti-cog, we can cast a Field Research through it. That's fine. At least that's consistent, Jinx. I just, you know... Juari's Disruption, of course, was a possibility, but I don't even know what this... I guess this is blue-white party. I know that anti-cog is better in a dedicated Oppo Mill deck, but it does do the job of being a 2-drop in decks that need it, so I at least considered it in terms of what I was potentially playing around. Now we can really punish them for the binding. But note, you could also punish Bubble Snare, which is fundamentally what that somewhat is about. What do we want to do, though? Just because we can rescue the familiar doesn't mean we should. I'm going to start with an attack with the Sentinel. Because one thing I know I'm not doing is into the roiling the Nahiri's Binding. So let's start with an attack. And we have a lot of value stuff that's really tempting, but I kind of just want to go Falconer Florahedron. Let's just add to the air with a couple mana up, and then add more mana to the board. And, you know, worth noting that Florahedron is legit ramping us. It matters. I mean, we have a ton of mana, but with Field Research into the Royal Geyser Mage, it's legit ramp here. Well, they got our big flyer, but our medium flyer is still doing work, and we're still going to be able to race all of this given our kicking and life gain. And speaking of Bubble Snare... Bubble Snare's like, what up? But I think we want to Geyser Mage more than Snare. Yeah, we get to hold into the Royal for emergencies. We clear out... They are able to attack with this Seer, and... well, actually, they can attack with... I'm surprised they didn't send Sellsword, too. But yeah, we'll bounce this Seer. It does give him fresh scrying. It might be better to send the Sellsword. It's cheaper, but they've got plenty of mana. It's not like we're costing them, and I don't want to give them the scry. I get it. But why do we want to give them scry for? I know they don't want to trade with it. I'm going to go with my line, though. We do have the option of Into the Roiling, unkicked the binding just to block with the familiar, but I don't think we're going to want to do that. I don't want to bubble until... I want to kick the bubble so we do get that life. I'm in no hurry to bubble. I would rather get the life and trade off with Geyser Mage as needed. You think this is spoils? Could be. Interesting they didn't want to trade with any of that. But we'll take it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. We could kick Field Research, find our 10th land, and then kick Bubble Snare or Into the Royal. I think I like that. Wow, we did not find a basic land, so the kicked Into the Royal is not a thing, but we can still... Yeah, I should have left up an island too. Should have tapped all my green out, right, if my plan was Bubble Snare anyway. We'll play Visions as land, yeah. And then, do we want to do anything else here? We could still snare. I'll just hold here. I couldn't. Oh, right, because I needed to. Yeah, that's fair. So at least I didn't punt the mana. I couldn't. I didn't even think about it, though. As always, I try not to gloss over my failing to see it punts. So even though I ended up not making a mistake, I didn't even think about it, which is a straight-up mistake. And speaking of thinking about it, we could... I want to leave a Royal. I want to have a bounce spell available. So I'm not going to cast anything else because we only have one island, and I want Into the Royal available. More islands are fine. Wouldn't mind that rare of ours that would double up our kicker spells, but I think we just lock down one of these diviners and start getting back in the air. And then we'll see what we do after that play. Yeah, we do have Arbor Mage, that's true. We can just we could work towards that first. You want to just work for the Arbor Mage win? We could even try for it. Yeah, if we just build out the board, we can work for the Arbor Mage win pretty soon. I'll do that. Good call, David. We'll go Turn Timber. We'll go Dauntless Survivor. And then we have kicked Into the Royal ahead of kicked Arbor Mage next turn. Oh, now I am thinking about winning the game, though. I needed David's help, but we got there. We're thinking about winning the game now. Let's see, where do we want this? I think we'll just probably put this on the Survivor itself. Spread the love around. Yeah, we'll do that. Cauliflower had a winning line. Really? Remember that we only had these attackers, and yeah, we have Arbor Mage, but you don't get through that damage. You don't get all that damage in. Somebody's got to be blocked. So I didn't think we had the damage. Oh, you bounce binding, but yeah, maybe we did. If I got a little creative with the Into the Royal and the binding. Good call. Collie. Good collie. Yeah, empty hand is nice. Now we just win. We can take the 7. The play, so we had 3 power, 1 power, 3 power, and a locked down familiar. And there are 8. Cauliflower's line was Into the Royal, Nahiri's Binding, Kick, Arbor Mage, Luring, Florahedron. Everything blocks Florahedron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Golf clap for Cauliflower. This isn't even needed. We're just going to untap and win. It's not a... I can't remember if they were tapped out and or had cards in hand. If they had open mana and cards in hand, then it's not a punt. If it's just not... At that point, you can't definitively say it was correct. But if they were tapped out and or no cards in hand, then you could argue it was definitively incorrect. Tough to call things that complicated of a line to find a punt. But again, that's why... The philosophy of the punt is an ongoing discussion. Yeah, Arbor Mage, I wasn't sure what I thought of it at first, but I came around pretty quick to like, oh, this is a legit win con. You know, if you need to ask yourself, how is my green, usually green-blue deck going to win the long game? Arbor Mage is an answer. I don't think we bother with Snarecaster. I think that's fundamentally what's wrong with this card. Or it's nothing wrong with this card. There are formats where I think you run that. I just don't think we need that here. Zendikar would be better. Yeah, Zendikar would be something I could consider maybe over an Ascetic even. I like the Zendikar idea. I think it's better than the Ascetic for... They're doing the same job, but this kind of does it against flyers. I'm going to keep the Might. I think we have some small fly... Like Skyclave with a Might can surprise their 3/2s or whatever. So I think I like a interactive pump spell for the Sentinels. But I like putting in the Zendikar. I think that's a good idea. Let's run this. Tempest, also interesting. We'll think about that for possible game 3 if needed. Yeah, also, like, we're the only ones who know that Zendikar has reach. So we have that going for us. See, I love this design. Oppo goes first. We get to keep. If we find a forest on top, great. We get ramp. If not, whew! Thank goodness this is a land too. So this is where the card shines. It's now doing why it was designed this way and why I think it's a good, clever design. Because of this solution. The feel good I have right now is why I like the design of this card. No, if we find forest on top, I'm absolutely using it as ramp. But we didn't, so I'm not going to mess around. Especially since we have another Spland, so like if we oh man, I want my Vine Gecko. You took my Vine Gecko. Interesting. So let's see. Do we have it? We don't have a 2 to play, so we might actually just want Wizard as land, or we could play Reclaim Unkicked. If we play Reclaim Unkicked, we can't kick it. But yeah, we do need. Yeah, let's get a second green and spend all our mana and set up. We could go Sentinel if we wanted to block the Windrobber. I don't care too much about it. They don't look like they are necessarily rogues here with the blue-white. Looks like this is just a party inclusion for the blue-white party sitch. So, which is what we saw before. I'm just going to go with Familiar. Right? They can have another Windrobber attack. Well, they got a pause here. Are they just... I mean, if they had a counterspell, obviously they're countering that, right? So I don't know what the pause is exactly. We know now! Cliffy! Can go with Sentinel. Yeah, we could... what do you want to bite, though? Are you worried about this Windrobber? I don't know. You don't want to get attacked by the 3-1. You could pin that down. Make a 4/4. That just blocks the... Yeah, like, I don't want to waste removal on this. We're not that low on life. This blocks it. This blocks it. Yeah, 4/4 into forking seems good. We would get a double bubble snare. Let's just do that. I think we're overthinking it. 4/4 that doubles our kicker spells seems fine. Yeah, we draw a basic land. We can double the Geyser Mage. All right, well, that didn't work out the way we wanted, but... Shell Shield. Could go Skyclave Sentinel, have 2 blockers and Shell Shield and a Rabid Bite, or we could go Sky Sentinel and just bite. You want to just research now? That does get us significant... We get some life and get some cards, but I think I like... yeah, if we wait, we can kick the Sentinel instead of having to give it up now. All right, I'm in. I don't think it's that sad. This is fine. I think we're in a good spot to win this game. Yeah, no life, but it's still... This is still a fine... We're in a good spot, I think. We can go Vision, but now we're just going to bite the Sellsword. I'm doing this because our hand is way fuller than theirs, and they keep showing removal. I know we were saying that's blocked for the rest of the game, but I'm not messing around now. I think if we just leverage our card advantage here, we're going to be okay. They need like a big bomb. Yeah, we get to attack too. I was messing around in the sense that I was willing to dirtle a bit because of our life total. I was willing to take some chances because we had ways to address the 3-1 long term. But they did some good plays. They smote our big thing. They tapped our ramp. They did enough that they pressured us such that the, quote, fooling around, which is to say dirtling without impacting the board much or worrying about killing that creature, that ended, and I then felt the need to actively address that stuff. Here, though, we're going to go ahead and kick the Sentinel and hope to stabilize with that. We get to 12 regardless, so even if they somehow counter this, we're not going to be dead to a crackback. We're just going to get in the air here. Smack, smack. Geyser Mage, we can geyser our own Sentinel, though. Gain life, block the Outrider, replay the Sentinel. Can even snare the Outrider with our remaining mana, I think. I'm going to go ahead and play this island. I know we're going to use that. Let's do the kicking here. Although, if I kick, we do put the Outrider back, and the Wind Robber gets to hit us a little bit harder. Oh, wait, never mind. I was going to bounce the Sentinel. Never mind. I forgot our plan. Jeez. Come on, Ryan. You're not that old. Also, this leaves up for a block on the Outrider, so that's nice. And Shell Shield kicked would actually let us eat the Outrider. I'm going to hold that up here rather than unkicked snare. Somewhat telegraphed by our lack of attacking, but our low life total explains that we're just trying to be defensive here. Perfect would be if they had like the practice tactics and sent in and we got to Shell Shield in response to that, but we'll see what happens here. Looks like they're not interested in offering the trade for the Outrider. All right, that's fine. We just want to preserve our life total. And our deck total. Got to stop this Wind Robber eventually, but that's hopefully going to happen right now. And with all this extra land, that gives us a lot of room to protect the Sentinel after we kick it. And I've been way behind on my memes. I owe you like 1 million kicker memes. Here's some.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going.
I think that Cliff Clavin one will be fine, though, right? Because does it even use music? Maybe it does the intro.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be attacking. I can't pay attention to that because I've got memes to run.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going.
All right, I'll pay attention to the game again. Here I am playing Magic. Riptide. All right, I'm going to keep patient here. I'm going to play Riptide. I'm going to keep everything back. I'm going to cast the Vision before we untap. Kind of want to try and get them with the shell shield. We could also we could kick the snare and drop a flyer and start trying to get in that way. But I like our defensive posture right now, and I'm going to keep that up. Several minutes behind Oppo. I'm going to play a little faster so if we go to game 3, we don't get pushed against it. I've been messing around on that front. Memes and... He says, going to fire another meme off.
Carry on my wayward son. I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
All right. This is like impossible to lose, he says, setting himself up to lose. But kicked field research, all this stuff going on. Now we have, more importantly, a kicked sentinel to back up this one, so I can start sending in this and see if our shell shield can get him. Clock is 12:18. I guess we're supposed to send the Riptide too, since we were going to kick. But I've been staying on D on the ground here a bit. Yeah, Riptide should have gone. I was just focused on this, finally having this window to get in with the Sentinel. Yeah, let's make that case. I was just thinking like Tron. I didn't want to telegraph. It would not have necessarily advertised the nature of the blowout, but it did disguise it a bit. I don't know if Oppo had a choice there. I think if I had really thought it through, I'd still attack with the Riptide. But I don't think it's a punt, D. I mean, of course, you can vote however you want. I don't think you're going to get much support, though, because there's a legit argument to not telegraph that you have kicker coming. Regardless, there's almost no, like, regardless of what kicker spell you think it is at instant speed, whether it's Might of Marasa, whether it's Shell Shield, whether it's Into the Royal, all of them blow out that double block. And now we're just going to snare down the big flyer, or the bigger flyer. Maybe I should wait. I mean, I just don't care about these two flyers, so I'm gonna, never mind. And I will send here. This is another space where if I'd kicked field research first, I could have gotten the Riptide. But I chose to do it this way and now regret it. Although I kind of still like having this blocker. I like having the Riptide as blocker, doesn't suck. Well, it's best of 3, and they know that they know we have a bunch of big stuff. So if I were Oppo, I'd be bringing in the smites. Whether or not I should have sent the Riptide, I'm not going to compound any mistakes by, like, not kicking my draw spell. I wanted to do that. Now I like... well, we can play this and play Survivor and still hold up Might. So let's do that. And maybe put... Where are we putting this counter? The thinking that led me to not attack with the Riptide incorrectly was wanting to have open mana during attacks. You know, just the heuristic of cast your spells after combat got me. I'm going to go... Yeah, on itself is correct, I think. Counter on Sentinel changes the clock, says Pablo. Fair, but I like spreading it around. I don't think we need to move all in on Skyclave any farther than we are. I mean, it's an endless question. It's got no answer or a simple answer. The simple answer is whatever 4 people in chat say it is. That's a punt. That's the simplest answer. Beyond that, you get philosophically into... The only real question is whether or not any demonstrable 100% clear mistake counts as a punt, or if it has to have some level of significance before you consider it a, quote, real punt. That's the fundamental debate. It's not that interesting a debate. It's because it's like a classic semantics debate that's like, and I'm not a just semantics guy. I don't say just semantics. Semantics is how we communicate. Semantics are incredibly important. Semantics are my living right now, but yeah, now I like Snare Riptide. Get the big blocker out of the way. Zendikar, we can Snare and Zendikar and attack, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Snare, 4 for the Zendikar. Yeah, we can even attack with the Lull Mage's Familiar. That's pretty sweet. And we can put it on the Wizard's Bland. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, they got our cool attacker, but I'm having, as long as we get the snare, that's fine. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I imagine they'll do some chumping here. I'll be surprised if they don't, but we do have lethal if they don't block and we keep the familiar back. So that's the question there. Okay, now never mind. Now we don't even have lethal, so we're going to send what we can. That particular decision just became moot because we can no longer threaten lethal. And we do get send all play Blight Blade, which is another nice factor of the send all play here. I got my follow-up crown appointment today. I'm going to go get my temporary crowns removed and replaced with 2 real crowns. I've basically been managing mouth pain with pain medication for 2 weeks now. Really hoping to end that today. Yeah, I'm the king of my terrible teeth. That's what I'm the king of. Well, you better have some bounce, because I'm going to go ahead and try and kick might on the smallest thing we have. Oh boy. Let's see where this blocks, and then we'll sneak around it. Maybe we don't. Again, it depends on whether we can win here. If they're reading our telegraphing, they'll block the Riptide. They might decide, though, that they can't beat a kicker spell, and they just have to do this. I don't think this is necessarily a punt from Oppo. They may be deciding that they can't beat kicker. So, I'm going to do it over here, though. Spread it around. Yeah, they could have another out, but we're going to make them have it, and they don't.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
All right. We're playing for 3-0. I love that. Deck feels strong. Yeah, I think I'll definitely take Monday off, but then maybe we'll do some Heroku drafts. Yeah, we'll just do some Tuesday prep. I like that. Let's call that the plan, Hat. Monday off, Tuesday prep day. We'll keep this. We got Wizard Land into Forest for Survivor on 2. Then Research on 3 if we get any land. I am. This is my standing desk. Lifetime? It's not a number I can just come up with off the top of my head. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're hoping to get at with the question, other than supporting the observation that dental work is really expensive and you should avoid it by taking care of your teeth. But everybody knows that because they're viewers of my stream. Yes, and that was the key, Wooly Bully. Wooly Bully's asking if I have a mat. I worked at Wizards for a couple years and had a standing desk that I rarely used because I didn't last very long. This Survivor is nothing for us but time, so we're going to take this block. Anyway, getting one of these was the difference. So if you have tried a standing desk and didn't like it, and you know it wasn't working for you, you didn't use one of these standing pads, that is the thing. That is the difference maker. It's weird. It's textured, so it's almost like standing outside, and that you get to stand on bumps and edges. And anyway, all right, let's drop this. What do we got? We can go Geyser Mage. We can let's just field research though. Like I said, maybe I'm being greedy, but Oppo's not doing anything. They're kicking. Yeah, I'm doing it. Looks like we're playing a Value Town matchup here, so I'm gonna just draw cards. Glad I did. We didn't even find a land. Hopefully we find a basic so we can kick or reclaim. We get Lull Mage's Familiar. Ooh. Well, the fatigue on your feet and legs is resolved. It's like, have you ever, Dionysus, have you ever gone to a concert with a cement floor? You know, and what I'm going to do is, I think we can go Reclaim Familiar. That's what I'm, oops, that's what I'm going to do. We might have to take the Shadow Stinger hit here. I don't want to block with Familiar and have them flash in a rogue that gives it Death Touch. No, cement's terrible. That was my point, D. I don't know if you've ever stood on cement for a long time, but it wears on your leg. Like, you get fatigued, you can't do it, your legs hurt, everything hurts. I don't know, it does for me. And these mats solve that problem. All right, back to the sitch. We've got Into the Royal we could rescue our Lull Mage with. We've got a Florahedron as ramp, or we just play Florahedron as land here. Probably Florahedron as land and Blightblade Sentinel. Or Big Verzal, but again, I'm expecting Death Touch from this, so I'm gonna go Blightblade. Trouble is, like, I want to save this to kick it. So maybe just Geyser Mage, and then, no. I'm just going to hold Royal here. No, I'm going to play the Sentinel. I think I'm just being fancy play. We don't need to kick this per se. We can bounce it later if we want. We have 2 bounce spells. I'm going to try and do this. My expectation here is that Oppo has the rogue that is going to give this -2. Like, that sucks, but I can't. I'm not just going to take this. This is the job I'm asking the Blightblade to do. It's just very likely that the Duelist is going to get us. And now, let's see, what do we want to do? We can kick, kind of like Geyser Mage, kick our own Familiar, and then be willing to throw double blocks on that. I'm gonna get our Familiar back. And totally be willing to throw blocks in front of the Stinger. They obviously get to give the Stinger Death Touch and kill the Sentinel, but unless they can pump, like the blowout here would be Subtle Strike, but I'm going to risk it. I mean, I got to just play my game and hope they don't have those blowout cards. But sometimes they do. All right. I'll take it. Now with 7 mana, we get Lull Mage's Familiar with a kicked into the Royal, so that's pretty sweet. Which I'm going to keep that available. Could also go Verzal for a 4/4 and double up the Royal. We have 19 life. It might be enough time. And we could also wait and make this even bigger. I don't know if you really need it to be that big to do what it's doing, to do the job it's doing for us. So yeah, I've talked myself into it. I wasn't thinking I was going to do this, but I actually like it. And if next turn we have 9 mana, great. We get to Into the Royal, kick it, and copy it, and Falconer, right? It's all still good for us. Yep. As Silo points out. Yeah, kicking into the Royal. Well, now we know what we're doing with Into the Royal. Boo earns. I'll trade off the Sentinel if it comes in. I'll trade off the Sentinel for the Skulker here. So rude. If they send this, I will double block Familiar and Sentinel on Sneak. I don't think we need the Familiar that much. Yeah, they've backed off on that plan, but I will take this trade. All right, nice. We got another Into the Royal, so this is going to be okay. We still get to go like Into the Royal, play Falconer, and then play Verizal, kick other Into the Royal. So this could end up being great. Do I want to kick this? 1, 2. We have 8 total. I'm going to risk it. We want to find a land with a draw, and no, because we need a land to pull this off. Silo, we don't have enough. We got to start here. It has to be. We did find the land, though, so that's good. Could also just Verizal again, you know, make a 5/5. Verizal is fine. But I'm going to be greedy now. I think we've got the time to be... Well, boy, Mind Drain would, like, crush us. But then we would have a Falconer. I'm going to risk it. Biscuits being risked. One, two, so X of 3, X of 7? Sure. Although we can't really block. Maybe I do X of 6 and then we have Familiar that can actually block these two. Start with this attack, not... well, we could do... it depends on what we want to do this turn. You want to do that this turn? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but then we don't have enough to kick it. Like, we could do 5 and do the kicked royal thing. X of 3, right? All right, that's worth it. I don't need to do it now, though, unless we want to play around counter magic. I think we probably do. It would be pretty devastating if this got countered. So I'm just... Silo says wait. It's pretty unlikely that this is going to result in a counter spell, but I'm not going to... I don't even care about protecting Verizal. I'm doing it now. Doing it now. Doing it live. Bite is good. Do we even need Gecko at this point? Gecko is underwhelming. Definitely want the bite. Weird that Gecko is underwhelming, but it really is. We just don't... But it's action? Like, that's the question. Jim asks the great question. Is this better than a random card? Obviously better than a land, but a lot of our action is much better than this. So, close. But we also... Land is only, you know, half our library. Anyway, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. Speaking of digging, and that's why you could justify keeping it. It's like we have a lot of kicker, so we would find the kicker. It's just that, anyway, I like a set. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can 6 this. Do we want to draw 6? Well, if we attack first. Yeah, let's attack and then. But do we need Lol Mage back? Maybe. Exactly. I just want, when we're drawing this many cards, we want the mana. We're going to be discarding as it is. We have Survivor on Verizol, and we even have Rabbit Bite if we wanted to. Oh, we don't have to discard. Okay, I'm not going to discard. I'm not going to play Rabbit Bite since we don't have to discard. Cool. Not even any discard needed. Double Sentinel called for by chat. Hopefully that's good game. Yeah, they're mill. We're at 6. That's a good point. We can't be too whatever about this, but that's gonna help. Starting with this though. And like Rabbit Bite on the Rogue here. Although we could also send in and have kicked might next turn is kicked might next turn is lethal. So we're representing lethal next turn. Let's bite the Rogue this turn. And hope they can't mill us out or kill one of our flyers. Yeah, saving bite for flyers is totally fair. Maybe, but we have Arbor Mage, so if they come up with flyers, we have that plan. Did we miss lethal? These can't attack. These just came out. Yeah, I didn't look, so my mistake there again, probably just not looking. But now we're going to be able to Arbor Mage the Survivor and cast Might and do 4, 4, 2, and 3, and they're dead. So, as is often the case around here, careened our way to a non-perfect win. An imperfect win, but we're getting the win here. Do I need to show him this? I do need to show him this, so fine. It was lethal. Magic is tough. Imperfect wins all around. What are we looking at? Nice rogue deck. Low Mage's Domination, scary for us. We do have the multiple bounce spells, though, that help us with that. Glacial Grasp. Tempest, maybe surprise those pesky rogue flyers. Maybe better than an ascetic in this situation. Although it's not like they're even showing a ton of rogue flyers now that we're looking at it. Don't make me time you out. Too much info? It's exactly what I'm talking about, D, in terms of overrated info. Overrated info. You want to get low to the ground here? Yeah, that's fair. That's what we need more. Maybe maybe this is the place where we do want a snare caster. Cat. You want to? Well, we'll put in a bunch of stuff, see what it looks like. Don't know about cat. I think I'm going to cut the kitty, but I like bringing in the grasp, and we can even cut a research for that. That's what we did earlier. Jinx suggested that for a different matchup, and I like it here. Yeah, shield seems like it's doing less, but it does say kicker on it. But maybe... Yeah, Zendikar for the reach situation. I'm running out of time, though, here. I'm going to cut a shell shield and hit done, because hourglass ticking away there. Show me the island on top and we keep, but we can't keep this. Gonna mulligan. Looks good, though. Now we get the Gecko Reclaim combo. What are we giving up here, though? I am going to be greedy enough to... I feel like I should bin the forest or even the island, because if we find any land, we get the Gecko Reclaim sequencing. I'm just being greedy about this is where we want to get to with all of this mana and kicking. But I guess this sets us up, and then we just draw into whatever we draw into, and it'll be good for us later. But it's sad to say goodbye to this, since it is exactly the payoff for what the rest of this hand is doing. I think what we're going to do is bottom this, and then we're going to, like... Yeah, I know it comes back, but it has the chance to be drawn. But, like, having it in our hand... I just worry about flood here. This is a very floody-looking hand, too. That's a great start that we didn't draw land there. We really just want this Gecko to survive, to reclaim, to kick a reclaim. Might even go Gecko Familiar, though. We'll see. So, like, with perfect information, like if we knew for sure this forest would be coming, I would love to have a Sentinel in hand now instead of 2 forests. But he was correct with what we knew. Ah, Boo Earns. But we get a Familiar as a follow-up play. Have not done anything with our Vine Gecko all event, though. This is just asking to be hit with the Duelist. I don't think that's true, though, Gidan Moore. With assuming everything landed, we have Vine Gecko on 2. We reclaim and make sure we get all of our lands, and we play another ramp spell. And so we're actually kicking Sentinel on turn 5 with that hand. Yeah, you gotta just snare the rogue while it's good, while the getting's good. You could also snare the Death Toucher, but I like. I kind of like getting our wastes on here. But we're not blocking. All right, I'll kick it.
Kick it!
Well, not if we want to get this. Snaring for 1 doesn't tap this, and snaring for 4 triggers the life link, at least, the life gain. Vision. We're going to save that and try and draw spells for that later. I like Kick, Reclaim, Survivor. Well, maybe Survivor. What about... No, that doesn't work. Trying to figure out how to deal with this sneak. We don't really have the biting capability on that front now. I'm gonna kick this. Really, we want 2 islands. And we could Survivor. Put a counter on itself. We could put a counter on the familiar, and then it gets so that it can block that, but that's not very exciting. I'm not loving any of this, bottom line. I think I play Survivor, though. No, why bite the Death Toucher when I can play Survivor and threaten to block the Death Toucher? Now, maybe they'll come up with a Duelist or whatever, but I'm also fine with giving up our Survivor to get the Duelist out of their hand and stuff. Oh, I'm sure they do. That's what their attack was before. You know, they attacked this into a 2/4. They for sure have the Duelist. I mean, okay, like they 100% have the Duelist. Do we care? Are we not going to trade for it? I mean, I think I like just getting it out and then dealing with the. Well, Skydancer would be great. I think it's just Duelist though, and I'm doing it eyes wide open, intentional, and that's fine. But action would be nice. Yeah, action. Love it. Now we have a rabid bite and a kicked into the royal with a blocker. So we are starting to recover. I'm going to bite the Death Toucher now, though. Maybe you have another Duelist. That would be funny. I mean, what do you do? Possible here that we just... Okay, never mind. I was going to say maybe we just end up visioning before end of turn, but with the Glacial Grasp, it means we are going to kick into the Royal. And I'll do it there. That doesn't really matter. I'll do it now.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going.
A royal pain, indeed. We can actually vision main phase here. And do it like so. Field research is great. But we're going to save the Into the Royal for their next play. That's good. They're just replaying that. We're happy about that. They got some mana here. What else are they going to do with it? All right. Another Death Toucher. I'm just going to kick the 4, though. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can kick the Field Research, but if I Lull Mage Familiar, we have Glacial Grasp for defense, and then we can just Field Research next turn. I like that a lot better. Gonna Grasp their upkeep. They're on 19 to our 16. Want to find some flyers and start winning this thing in the air. There we go, exactly as requested. I'm going to start with this. We'll refill. I especially like doing this where shields are down. Maybe they might have removal for it, but make them have it. Stalker's solid, but mainly we just don't want our Sentinel to die. Unfortunately, there it goes. I'm going to say somebody else's rating on what they liked is perfect. I'm going to say Jim's grade is perfect for Jim. Now, do we want to trade? I will. I'll give up a familiar for a sneak. They've only got the one black. There's nothing they can do to us for that. So, yeah. On the one hand, we could save it and get an extra, value out of our kick field research. Now, Rebirth is a good call. Do we play around Rebirth, or do we just let them do that anyway? Yeah, I think Silo called out what they might have, but we still let them do that. All right, Arbor Mage is going to be a long-term plan, but I'm going to start on a kicked research. Well, you can make an argument for unkicked as well. Let's see, at 8 mana, we unkick it, 7/6/5, and then for sure we get a wizard. And if we get a land, we even get a wizard and a low mage blocking. But if we kick it, we get 2 life. I think we unkick it. Although we're at 19, we can also take some damage, and it's okay, right? Like, we have a little bit of time here. All right, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go card greed, kick it.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going.
And now we can do the Verzal copy Sentinel trick. Do you want to play a 2/2 Verzal just to have 2 big flyers next turn? The other option, because we are getting ground out here, we need to win quickly. I think I'm going to do that. A little bit of an oddball play, but I got to play quickly. Yeah, I think it's fair to say I'm a hip-hop fan. I'm not a deep hip-hop fan. I am not as into modern-day mush-mouth mumble rap hip-hop, but I'm a deep fan of old-school hip-hop, and I like a lot of indie stuff. Gonna take all this, though. Although maybe I can't let the stinger through, like, I don't know. Yes, I've been listening to Run the Jewels a little this year. They have a good album from this year. From last year, I should say now. Let's see. So we gotta do the Sentinel trick. And I like a Florahedron so that we can potentially Arbor Mage. Yeah, we might need to chump too. All right, that's enough. The only way we were going to win is if we had our Sentinels. I think we could have potentially gotten there on the strength of Sentinels and Arbor Mage if everything went perfectly. So I gave it a chance. Now we're on the play. We could go a lot lower as suggested. Maybe Tempest down and Survivor or Kitty up. Or if we're going to do the Zendikar over Tempest, maybe that's certainly at least Zendikar over Tempest. Third Survivor, maybe over Riptide. But we're on the play now, and Riptide can really crush with a kicking curve out. Oh, the Snarecaster stayed in. Let's get rid of that. And then we can put back in even the Survivor or the Shell Shield. Let's go Survivor. How many is that creature-wise, though? 16, 11. Yeah, that's... Because I'm looking at this Might, too. Like, if we want to run them over, Might... I kind of like Might. I'm going to cut Survivor number 3 for Might number 2. Kitty is interesting as well because of the trample fact, or is that, wait, am I mixing up my cards? Yeah, it has trample, so that's interesting. And what about, all right, what about Kitty instead of Zendikar? And then I'm going to do it like this. Thank you, Silo. All right, Magic Gods, how about a banger of an opening hand? Come on. Not quite. We do have Survivor with a Rabid Bite and at least a play on 3. And then when we find our blue, we have some filling up. What do you think? Keep? Ship? I'm going to keep. I think we just need any land by turn 3 to have a reasonable 2-3. And then we find blue and we're good. We also have Rabid Bite something on 3 if we get no action that way. We got this. We're going to go 3-0 against the turn 1 crab. Unless we don't draw lands. We did need the land.
Where are we going? To Neverland. 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 Oh, but Neverland.
All right. We did find some land. It's going to take a second, though. Let's see if they... I'm hoping they block, seeing that we're mana screwed. They might just be like, all right, we'll block. They didn't. Okay, so now we're going to try a reclaim. Get our blue. Drop that. And end it. Yeah, we can play that. Let's see what we've lost. So now they're going for the block. Maybe that means they have some sort of protection. If we go for a Rabid Bite here... I guess we have to. This might not work, but we got to try it. Yeah, Duelist is a good response. They might be seeing that. We had to try. we've gotten some bad luck here, both in facing a Ruin Crab on turn 1 and then getting mana screwed. But, as again, I'm trying to be more grown up about my dislike of the Ruin Crab that it even exists. I really don't like it, but it's just another way to win a game of Magic, right? I should get over it. I'm gonna field research to look for enough mana to actually do something in this dumb game. Yeah, Survivor, yeah, maybe that's what we need to do. That's a reasonable call. This starts attacking for 3. I'm trying to get our 4-drop in the air. But okay. And of course, nobody with a turn 1 Ruin Crab ever misses a land drop, ever. Oh, turn 1 Ruin Crab? I get land drops for the rest of the game. That's it. Deal with it. With the land, we get Falconer down now. We get a bigger attack in next turn. I'm going to go Falconer. It feels so bad. I hate it. I'm trying to be a grown-up about it, but I hate losing this way. I hate it. F you, Wizards. It sucks. And I'm going to do Verazol on 3. You want to research here? I was liking Verazol, or maybe even Arbormate, like something to get us attack. Like Verazol is a 3/3, can at least be kicked, like we can attack with it, you know? Yeah, top deck might be our way out here. Also, Oppo has 6 cards, 6 mana, and hasn't done anything. So Verazol probably not even untapping with. I don't think we untap with Verazol, much less our flyers. Or, you know, this is not going to go well, is my prediction. I mean, the fact that they're deadly alliancing the 3/4 attacker with Verazol and Merfolk Falconer out says, yeah, we're doomed. We're just doomed. Oh, look! Oppo did a turn 1 crab and just played their 7th land without interruption. Yeah. F you, Wizards. Miserable. It just doesn't even feel like anything has happened. It's just like, oh, look, I got this card and you didn't happen to have anything for it, so you lose. It's just a random 1-drop that you lose to. It's not even a non-game, like I'm racing it. Well, so much for my early efforts to avoid mill salt. Clearly, mill salting is still a problem for me. Unfortunately, we don't have Geyser Mage to double bounce at 5 mana. We can double Bubble Snare and tap down at least the things that can hurt us. You just want me to embrace it, Magic Star? This. Sure, why not? Might do it, right? Might is one of our only chances. But we probably need Royal first. Oh yeah, he's gonna drop a land. Like, whatever. None of it matters. That's the thing. I'm acting like that matters, and it doesn't. It's getting milled. So maybe I should have bottomed it. But this is where we're just not able to win. We just don't have the tools to win here. That's the bottom line. I mean, I guess if our only hope is that, yes, somehow Preem has no lands in hand. So actually, I mean, it's probably correct to keep him on top, because in order to win this game, Preem has to be out of lands. Yeah, I should have attacked all. You're right. I'm being distracted. See if it matters here. We apparently ran out of lands too, though. We can... I guess attack with flyer, hope they still don't find a land, and then into the Royal something to live, and then... So they go to 8, then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, like 1, 0. So we actually have to play the Geyser Mage unkicked. Why not attack? I don't know what do you mean? Royal Crab doesn't do anything. Why do you want to Royal the Crab? But question is whether we play Geyser Mage or Arbor Mage. Oh, we got to play Geyser Mage. Geyser Mage unkicked. I already spoke to that, D. You're 2 turns behind. I know you have lag, but... They aren't jamming it. I don't know. Could be a slow roll, though. I'm still ready for the land to hit. Did we just do this? I mean, it's all we've got, right? So here it goes. I could Royal something, but what does that even do? Like, this is all we got. Doesn't matter. Attack all. Wait, why does attack all even matter? It's the... They have blocks. They have blocks for days, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to attack all. I don't see what attack all does. Either this Falconer hits for 9 or it doesn't. Salty guy beats the mill deck in the end. I still don't like it. Still F you, Wizards. I still don't like that. But we did beat it. But how unlikely was that? They were at... they had 3 turns. They kicked... Oppo needing one more land drop. Oppo needed one more land drop and kicked a field research and then drew twice. So they drew 5 cards and did not find a 5th land, or did not find a land. Oh, I was being really salty about the turn 1 Ruin Crab, how it makes me feel, what it does to the gameplay. I don't like. I get the game design argument. Your game needs different angles to attack. You know, if you're so introducing different angles of attack is good. I just openly acknowledge that the psychological effect of losing to mill is worse for me. And I know it's not rational. I've been trying to acknowledge the lack of rationality there and be better about it. As you can see from that game, I'm not yet. But I am trying. I'm acknowledging it, and I'm saying it's a place I need to work on, because ultimately it's a game design decision. It's another way to win games of Magic. You know, it's just another way to execute Magic card mechanics, to execute a victory. And I don't know why my generally pretty smart brain can't overcome the irrationality of not liking to lose that way, but I'm at least owning it, and owning that that's part of where I'm at, and owning that I need to, that if I'm my best self, I can find my way to not be crabby about mill. But I still am, and I'm just working through that. And I will acknowledge, sure does feel good to beat it. Sure does feel good to beat a turn 1 Ruin Crab, even though it took the luckiest lucks of all the luck. Yeah, so my feelings are valid. I'm just trying to manage them and at least be self-aware that I'm not necessarily making a lot of sense, that it doesn't make any sense to like losing less to this set of mechanics to the other one, but that's where the human brain is, and that's where my brain is at. So, all right. And, you know, I want to acknowledge, like, math. Math says, I like mill a lot, particularly when it's done like in ZNR. As a game designer, you need to be able to design mechanics and experiences that you don't find fun if your gaming community finds it fun, and it's going to make your game more successful. So one of the hardest things to do as a game designer is design for not yourself. And if you think about it, like, when, you know, I've talked a lot about a lot of the different things I've worked on in game design. I'm not sure I've ever talked about the brief stint I had working on kind of what do you call it? Find the image, find the stuff in the image. You know, like story games where you're image finding and puzzle solving, like little puzzlers. But basically, yes, not spot the difference. It's funny. I worked on them, and I'm losing the industry term for them. But basically, they're very popular with the prime demographic for them is older women. And then another game that I also worked on, a game called The Daring Game for Girls. The Daring Game for Girls is a Nintendo Wii game that I made with my team. And my point is that I've had to make games for young girls and old women, and I am neither. But it's my job. I still have to do it. So this is all me circling around on the mill front, saying, like, as a game designer, it's especially in my mind to overcome my mental issues with losing to mill, because as a game designer, I need to be able to embrace those types of strategies to make sure that I'm able to deploy them for the players of my future games who actually like that stuff. You know, you got to be able to design for your other people's tastes if you're gonna, because the world needs more games than just the ones that are made for your demographic. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye after that little farewell there to our YouTube friends. Hope you enjoyed the 3-0. Woohoo! Got a tight one against Mill there at the very end. That was fun. Catch you next draft, YouTube friends. Bye.